Max Verstappen, the GOAT of GOATs. During the long history of Formula One, the debate on who is the greatest of them all has been an ongoing topic. It's the cause of many heated discussions on social media or in the pub. Some focus on statistics, and some base their preference on the location where the driver is from. And that's perfectly fine. Some say Fangio is the greatest because he won in 4 different teams. Others say Lauda is the best due to the sacrifice he made for his health during his career. I will explain before the video ends why I think Max Verstappen is the GOAT of GOATs. Please allow me to explain my theory, even if you like another driver. You might still find something you like in the next, say, 10 minutes. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Alain Prost. One of the most distinguished features of Alain Prost's driving style was his smoothness and his efficiency. He was able to drive fast without stressing the car or the tires, and he mastered the art of conserving fuel and brakes. This gave him the nickname Le Proffeseur. It is well known that Prost was cold, analytical, and intelligent. He can go stunningly fast without looking as if he's trying, is what Frank Williams, head of the Williams F1 team, once said. He was considered a master strategist on the racecourse and a cunning opportunist of it. Alain Prost won his titles by being a master in setting up his cars. He spent a lot of time perfecting that aspect, whereas others did things more on instinct. I see and read a lot of those qualities in Max Verstappen too. I'm reading the book by Adrian Newey, and he describes Max Verstappen as the perfect driver. His feedback on what the car does and what he wants from the car to make it faster is always spot on and to the point. This season, Max Verstappen was struggling with his rear tires in Baku. It's pretty much the only race he lost on merit against Checo Perez. Still, he said it was his best race because during the race he and Giampiero Lambiase, his race engineer, tried many different setups during that race, and 10 laps before the finish he found the sweet spot. This helped him the rest of the season, where he strung a record-breaking set of 10 consecutive wins together. His smooth and fast way of driving makes it look easy at times. Max Verstappen gets criticized for not being exuberant enough when celebrating his record-breaking wins, and also on his analytical view on the amazing achievements he's getting in Formula One. I think he does this to stay level-headed and balanced, just like the 4-time world champion Alain Prost. Ayrton Senna. The Brazilian legend died way too soon, but will always be remembered for having a sixth sense for grip in difficult conditions. His talent was unmatched in those days, and combined with nerves of steel, made him the greatest of all time for many. I already made a video about Ayrton Senna. It's pronounced Ayrton according to my Brazilian friend. I'll use that video as an end screen so you can watch it afterwards. His fierce rivalry with Prost, his skill in the rain, a fight off track, and a few other things made him the center of attention many times in his career. The British media is a lot kinder to him now he passed away than when he was still alive. In all these qualities, I can see Max Verstappen too, especially the relationship with the media. In Max's younger years, he was ready to headbutt someone after too many questions about crashes came, which I think is odd of the media, since Max was a teenager at the time and not 24, like Russell. He is now calmed down and is fully focused on getting the most out of each weekend, going for each gap, every fastest lap, every single point. Michael Schumacher. Schumacher's win at all cost attitude and his willingness to take big risks in order to do so made him one of the most determined drivers the sport has ever seen. He was just as dominant off track, which didn't leave much for his poor teammates. What played against him was the blind devotion he brought to his task. He quite deservedly made a name for himself as a dirty driver who didn't shy away from dangerous antics on track to win. Still, it was exactly what failing Ferrari needed at the time. He joined that team mid-90s, and with the then 2-time world champion not being at Benetton anymore, the capable people joined Ferrari too. It was the execution of what was intended to win races and championships that brought talent to the team, and it silenced the top people at Ferrari who always meddled with the F1 team. I see a lot of similarities in Max Verstappen's situation now. The reputation of being a dangerous driver has died down somewhat in recent years, but in 2021 we did see a thing or two. It was Verstappen's connection with Honda and the constant open critique at Renault that made the engine swap possible. Adrian Newey admitted that due to the poor reliability of the Renault product in the back, he lost interest in F1 and started designing boats instead. Max scoring wins in the cars designed by Dan Fallows made Newey return, and we're seeing the results of that right now this season. Max Verstappen likes a quiet life outside of racing, just like Schumacher. And contrary to his reputation on track, both Verstappen and Schumacher are the most friendly, nicest, down-to-earth people, according to the people close to them. Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel was the first Red Bull driver to receive the name and reputation as the Golden Boy. He was the first to win in a Red Bull owned team, breaking the record of youngest Grand Prix winner ever. He was relentless on track and had a few fights with his Australian teammate Mark Webber. Most of you will know about the infamous Multi-21 incident, when in 2010 Red Bull adopted the first double diffuser, just like Braun did in 2009. Vettel spent hours upon hours in the simulator to perfect his driving style for that car. It made him a 4-time world champion in the end, until the regulations changed. Max Verstappen was the second driver to get the name Golden Boy. He broke Vettel's record for youngest winner and annoyed his Australian teammate too. This time it was Daniel Ricciardo. Max Verstappen breathes racing, and guess what he does when he comes home after a race weekend? Yes, he goes endurance racing with his sim racing team Redline. Verstappen also has the ability to adapt his driving style to what's needed from a specific car. This is why he won 10 races before he had the RB16B that won him his first championship. The people at Red Bull compare Verstappen and Vettel all the time, with one great difference, and that's that Max's race reviews take a lot shorter. Lewis Hamilton. Subscribe for more content like this. Please use the notification bell too, so you don't miss any of my new uploads. You might be surprised to see the name of his biggest nemesis in here. I still want to include him, as there's something we see from Max Verstappen that is actually typical for Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, the statistical GOAT, had some wild years when he started his career. There were seasons where he visited the stewards nearly after every race. When he matured and had that overpowered engine and the right package to go with it in Mercedes, he became a master of staying out of trouble, driving a smooth race, sometimes a few places behind the front, biding his time while preserving his tires. Many races we've seen it looked like he was stuck in the midfield until it was hammer time. Then, when his opponents had taken the best out of their tires, Sir Lewis started pumping in these near qualifying laps and beat them comfortably. Max Verstappen has started doing this too. Although Max doesn't wait until the end of the race to do it. We've seen him give drivers more space than usual at start or first corners, sometimes even losing places in the process to later come out on top. So even when their personalities are completely different, Max Verstappen kept his eyes open and learned from his older opponent. Will the new GOAT of GOAT be one of the drivers on the grid now? Will it be Piastri? Will it be Liam Lawson? Will Verstappen be long enough in the sport to become the statistical GOAT? Let me know in the comments. Take care now. Doei doei.